We will now turn to the Committee of Finance, Business and Capital Planning Agenda Item 2. This is the conflict of interest item found on pages BOT 2 and 3 of your board agenda. Ira Lupert will be excusing himself, if he hasn't already, from this item. It should be noted that Ira Lupert is not a member of the Finance, Business and Capital Planning Committee, and he was not present during any discussion of this item at our committee meeting yesterday. Consistent with the bylaws of the university agenda, Agenda Item 2 seeks Board of Trustee approval of one proposed lease renewal with PSRP developers. Documentation was provided with the board agenda in support of the resolution in accordance with Section 8.05 of the bylaws, with regard to the transaction being fair and in the best interest of the university. The resolution regarding PSRP developers was approved by the committee by unanimous vote. I will note, just for the record, that this building actually will be dedicated for $1 or granted for $1 by the partnership at the end of its term. So that should be noted as well. Chairman Massa, this completes the report from the Committee on Finance, Business, and Capital Planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Given the recusal of Trustee Lupert for the last item in Mark's report, let's begin with that as the first item for board consideration. As noted in Mark's report, the board received supporting documentation for this lease extension justification, which was prepared by Dan Sheminsky. The supporting documentation provided information and context on this lease renewal being in the best interest of the university and the price and value being fair and reasonable considering quality of the space and the amenities provided. Approval of the resolution before you carries with it your agreement that the proposed transaction is in the university's best interests and that the price and value provided are fair and reasonable to the university, and the minutes of the meeting will reflect that agreement. As reported by Mark, this action carries with it the committee's recommendation for approval. We will take a few moments to review that item on the screen.
Hey, Keith.
Yes.
Who is PSRP other than Ira? Is there any, the corporation or what is it? Who else is a member of the PSRP? Does anybody know?
Well, Ira's not here, of course.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I'm sure they checked that in. Yep.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
It's approved in second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Can we have Ira please return? Yes.
The last 2 years, there's been a lot of these emails coming in talking about how we have a lot of conflicts of interest and we're feathering our own nest and so forth. Do you have any idea of what that's directed to, who it's directed to, and what particular things people are complaining about? The alumni emails, etc.
Well, I mean, it's this type of transaction. It's conflicts that are being managed. You know, this is the type of transaction we just mentioned. There's other trustees who have relationships with the university that the university feels in the best interest of the university to continue, and those conflicts are managed. Steve, can you provide any more light to that?
Well, I think the relevant point is I don't know what the background of the complaints has been, but we are, pursuant to the new bylaw changes, collecting information from trustees, and by the end of the year, I think the disclosures will be publicly made. And as we've gone along, of course, the trustees have already made disclosures and public discussions just as you've done. I think that's all we could say.
So by the end of the year, there'll be a public disclosure of all the conflicts that have been noted and brought forth. That's correct, Steve, right? Yeah. Okay.